Hello everyone, I'm Caroline and today I'm going to be making some fall or some autumn wreaths for you to hang up on your wall, on your door or wherever you like to hang your decorations. Right, no time for chatting, let's get on with crafting. As you can see, I've got this vine wreath base I've used before. It's still got a hanger on it and you can see some hot glue. That doesn't matter. I always like to upcycle and recycle my wreaths. Seems such a shame to just get rid of them when you're bored with them. And, oops, I shouldn't have that in there. I've got this ivy twine. Knots up so easily, it can be very irritating sometimes. Now, I'm going to be using this just to give a little bit of a background and foil to the actual bits and pieces I'm going to be sticking on this. So I'm going to start at the back. A little bit of hot glue on. You don't need to put the hot glue on. It all depends how long you want to keep this wreath in action. So now I'm going to wrap this wreath around and around just to give it that lovely background. And already, can you see the difference it makes? I just love it. And there we go. You don't need to put a lot of embellishment on that if you don't want to. This will look perfect with a little woodland creature on too. Right, I'm going to set that to one side while I show you the next thing I'm going to use. And it's these acorn picks. And they're very nice and they're very cheap because I made these myself. Here's another one which, as you can see, is a different colour. And this is what I use. Whenever I get a pick and I cut all these individual blooms off, I keep these. And then you can do things with them. You can stick things on. And so I'm going to be sticking some acorns. There are 6 of each on there. So I want 6 prongs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to cut that little one off. I've got these false acorns, but you can use real ones. You can use pine cones, anything you fancy. Cut the knobbly bit off. And this is so easy. So a little bit of hot glue on the end, poke your little cap on of your acorn and give it a push to get it to just break through the surface. It just makes it hold a little bit better. And then do the same all the way around. And then, like any pick you ever use, make sure you floofed it out. You'll get more money worth if you floof out your picks rather than leave them all. If I squash this one up, they don't look much when they're all pushed together. But you open them out and you've suddenly got a lot more. If you've got a little twisty board or a lazy Susan like this, if you pop your wreath on, then it's a lot easier to move it about rather than keep dragging it around the table. And you could bump things off it. Let's make sure my hanger's at the top. And let's make a start with these. And because this is one of these wreaths, I can easily push these in. So I'm going to do a triangle shape. If you've got 3 things and you're putting them on a wreath, a triangle is good. Either 2 at the top, 1 at the bottom, or 2 at the bottom, 1 at the top. And I'm going to cut these off. I've not got a lot of autumn foliage, so we're going to have to be very judicious with it and make sure every piece counts. It depends whether or not you're going to be doing a wreath that's symmetrical or not. I'm going to try and make this fairly symmetrical, so whatever I do on the left, I'll do on the right, and whatever I do on the top, I'll do on the bottom, roughly speaking. You certainly haven't got to worry about being perfect because nature itself just isn't perfect. So you can just enjoy yourself and put things where you think they look good. But if you keep those rules in mind, it will just give you a neater look. Rules are there to be broken, so don't worry about it too much. There we go. Now where's my ring? Just make sure that's at the top. Let's twist this around. Yep, it's looking good so far. And put one either side at the bottom towards the inside. If your leaves are not facing the way you want them to be, you can usually just give them a little twist. Now I got these bigger picks. And again, I'm going to open them out. I've got this one and this one. And when you open them out, you can see the spread they've got and just how big they are. So you can start to make comparisons and get the right ones opposite each other or wherever you need to put them. With this one, which has got a huge sunflower on. And you may even decide that one or two of your picks just don't look good. You're not going to use them. Don't worry about that. Just do what feels good to you. Right, so I want to try and get 2 or 3 that are fairly similar. That one, and that one, and that one. I think they're the most similar. In between this triangle of 3, 1, 2, 3, I'm going to put a triangle the other way up. So I'm going to put 2 picks at the bottom. 1, 2, and then 1 at the top. And that top pick is a little bit on the wonky side. So I'm going to pad it out with another one I've just found. They keep appearing, I don't know where they're coming from. And I'm going to put this very close to it. So we've got like a group of pumpkins at the top. So I'm going to snap off a bit of skewer. And I'm going to make a hole in the bottom of one of these foam pumpkins and then pop those into place where I think they're needed. There's another one over this side. About there. I'll cut this into 3 pieces and floof it out a little bit. And then again, filling in the gaps, come all the way around. So we've got one there, so about this area is where I would put the 3rd. Because this is quite firmly packed, I'm going to move that leaf around there and then I can put it in here. And it will actually make the wreath a bit more symmetrical. Like that. Now I'm going to pad out wherever there are gaps with a few, look again. My poor glue gun. I'm going to pad out where the gaps with a few of these pretty leaves. And I've got some little berry clusters, so I'm going to pop those in if I can see any gaps. And I think we're done. The top is by far more flamboyant than the bottom. I like it like that. I actually think I'm going to put something there too. I think it needs a little something. What about these acorns? Yeah, I think that just finishes it off. And also, now we're going to look at the circle of it, and this is sticking out a bit, isn't it? So I'm going to move this little bit of this pick inwards because it's not looking good where it is. They're all on wires, you can do what you fancy. And now it's looking far more sensible, and this one as well can come in a little bit. Like that. Have another look again. Does anything stick out obviously? Maybe this leaf a little. And I love that. I just love the abundance of it. And harvest Thanksgiving, isn't that all about abundance? I just think that is gorgeous. So let's see what this looks like up on my display. this is going to be a nice simple craft, but it's going to look stunning. I've got this. It's a skimmer. It's an old one, probably vintage, but not antique, I don't think. It's aluminium. And you've got a little hook on the back, which is perfect because that is a built-in hanger if you need one. You can pick these up at thrift stores. You can also pick them up. I got this at an auction. It was in a box full of kitchen utensils. I've got this pick and it's a little bit crumpled up. So first thing to do is floof your pick. Open it out and show it to its best effect. Put some blackberries on there too. A little acorn. Make those face the front a little bit. We got the corn on the back. This I'm just going to simply fix to the handle. It's a little bit long really, so I'm going to try bending it. Easier said than done with these because, as you can see, a pick is made up of multiple stems all wrapped together. I think we're just about managing that. And then I think I'll chop that off. I'm going to take some chopping, a little crack in the end. There we go. Then decide how far down you want this to go. But you can put it right down over like that. I like to leave it so you can see a bit of the skimmer still there. So I'm just going to get my pipe cleaner, pop it around near the top, do a couple of twists. Then come down a little bit further, wrapping round and round with the longest edge. Stop it wiggling sideways. Like that, and then twist it again. You can also glue the back of this pick to the ladle or skimmer or whatever you're using. You could use a whisk, you could use a wooden spoon, anything like that. I'm just going to snip off these ends, put that to one side. So now take your ribbons. I've got these two. I've got a check one and a lightweight check, both wired. Make yourself a bow shape out of the one and pinch the middle like that. Hold it firmly. Get a bow shape you've made out of the other ribbon you want to use, slightly smaller than the front one. Scrunch that. Take a pipe cleaner, pop it around the middle and then give it a twist. Pull it nice and tight as you're twisting. And now we're going to cover the back of this because I think it'll do a nicer job if it's covered. We haven't got to worry about any little bit showing we don't want showing. Just trim that straight. Glue it into place. And that hides anything that might be poking through the bows. Then get your bows and decide where they're going to go. I want some of that ribbon showing. I think it's pretty, so I'm going to let a lot of ribbon show and I can move the bow quite low, about there. Turn it over, twist, chop it off and floof your bow. Now dovetail your ends. Then I'm going to finish off with a few little sunflowers. And there. You finish this off any way you like. You could add another little bow onto the front. You could put some buttons on. Put a little head of corn or wheat, something like that. And are we going to put another one on? I like to put things on in threes, but I don't want to make it look too cluttered. Yeah, I'm going to put one up there. That was super quick, super easy and so adaptable. If you've got anything in the house that you can use, it's surprising what you'll get away with just to be the basis. It can be even a big serving spoon and just put a much smaller pick on, or just a few little florals and a smaller bow. You may need to refloof your bow after you've stuck your flowers on. These bows do tend to unfloof very easily, but they're also floofed up very easily too. Right, let's see what this looks like up on my display. this next craft, I'm going to use this wire wreath form, and I'm going to use some raffia. Now, you don't have to use raffia. You can use ribbon, which is going to be much quicker to cover this. You can use string or twine, but I've decided to go for raffia. And if you're going to use raffia, it is very thin. Get yourself 4 lengths all running together. It'll be so much quicker. You could go for 6, but I think that may be a little bit bulky and not so easy to control. I tie a knot in the end because that gives you something to get some glue on, get it attached while holding it all together. On with a finger protector. All my finger protectors just about have ventilation holes where I keep accidentally snipping them with the scissors. Right, starting where you've got one of these little, I'm not sure what you would call them, some sort of joint holdery thingy. Pop your knot there with some hot glue to give it a nice good grip. And then you can either just wrap round and round, or you can go in and out. So this is the effect, wrap round and round. And this is the effect if you do more of an in and out weave. Now, I like that effect. It is going to be slower, but I think it's going to be worth it for me because I like it so much. So you end up with the wreath that looks like this. You may not manage to cover every little bit of metal. I struggle to, but I think we'll be fine. We'll get away with it. Pick the ugliest bit. Now, I think the ugliest bit is this bit, so I'm going to put that at the bottom because that's going to be completely covered. I've got lots of foliage and things here, and I've decided I'm going to go on the bottom decoration on this. I'm going to put some foliage stalks going this way. And I've got 3 cut. 1 long one, 1 medium one, and 1 short one. So they're going to be lying like that. And then I got some of these, I'm not sure what they are, like some sort of nut thing. Or perhaps they're supposed to be seed heads, I'm not sure. I've got a light one and a dark one. So I'm going to put those like that. So they're going to be put on top like that. And then I'm going to wire them all together when I'm happy with the layout. I can always tweak it later because these are all wired. Wrap them all tightly together and twist the back of the pipe cleaner and then chop it off. Now, for some reason, some of these leaves have actually been glued facing the wrong direction. They all run the right direction, then they glued the bottom ones on facing the inside. So I'm giving them a bit of a twist and it's making them a little bit loose, but they're still hanging on in there, so they'll be fine. So now I'm going to give them a little bit of a twist because I don't want them completely sticking out sideways, but I don't want them wrapping completely around the wreath. About like that, I think. Yep. And I'm going to wire this on with a bit of pipe cleaner. Florist wire would do a better job probably. It's just that my florist wire is hidden underneath a big pile of flowers or something or other on my desk. I can't find it. So rather than spend time looking, I'm just going to use this pipe cleaner. Same job it'll do. And then some hot glue as well, just to make sure it's nice and secure. I'm going to put this underneath there because I don't want the glue sticking to my cutting mat. So make sure it's up the right way. And then I'm going to glue on some florals. And I love this, look at that. I only bought this today. Absolutely stunning. I've taken the stalk off the back. Some hot glue on. And then pop that in place. Already that's looking lovely, but there's more to come. I've got these, I've had these for a while and I've been trying to decide what to do with them. I wasn't quite sure, but I think I found the perfect project. Because not everything for fall has to be oranges and greens. You can do some lovely muted tones. And I love this look. Now some of this gold I got from Temu. I'm going to cut it a bit shorter. I think that's about as long as I want it. And I think that little bit of gold is really going to make this pop perfectly. If you're enjoying my craft so far, then don't forget to subscribe, because that way then you won't get to miss any videos that I put out in the future. And it would be great to have you along with me on my crafting journey. Right, that's looking great. We need a hanger though. And I'm going to use some twine for the hanger for this. I've got a screw in the wall where I hang a picture on a nail, but then whenever I'm putting a display on it, it's too high because the picture is quite large. So I put a longer hanger on. I'm hoping it'll look a little bit more in the right place. So pop that there, and I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue to hold it in place. And then I don't want a flamboyant bow because I think it'll really take away from this, but I am going to put a simple one made of this burlap with lace on. I love this. It is so pretty. And then use something to cover your bow, or you can wrap a piece of ribbon around it. I thought I'd use something pretty to cover it. And then a little raffia bow in the middle. Just add a little bit of interest. And look at that, for an easy, high-end looking wreath for the fall. I absolutely love it. I love the little bit of bling on it too, but it's still simple enough that it's not too much in your face. Right, let's try this hanging up on the wall. I've ran out of time this week to make the 5 projects that I planned, so I'll be having more next week. This is one of the items I was going to use this week, but we'll now use next week. It's a pretty little scarecrow. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe before you leave. Otherwise, you may never remember what the channel was called and never find your way back here. It's easily done. I've done it myself. I'll see you all next time, but until then, don't forget, happy crafting and have fun. Bye.